It was Archimedes who said, "Give me a lever and a place to stand and I will move the earth." That's in somewhat a truism. I mean, obviously it's a matter of scale. But the point is that with enough leverage, we can get incredible things done. So today, let's just dive into what it is to have leverage. This is a place where those who suspect they're innately wise, brilliant and powerful come to learn how to transform their lives, one cognition, one realization and one blinding flash of the obvious at a time. We are the innovators, the record breakers, the world makers and creators of all kinds. We supersede the suppressive worldview of mass ignorance and awaken the strength within. We are waking up to our innate secrets. My name is Dr. Mark Postles and welcome to the In8 Secrets podcast. So leverage is about getting more with less, having less input to a greater effect. And so when it comes to that, I guess there's two critical components that we work with every day. And one is the physical world and the work that we do, and the other is the time that it takes to do it. And I don't know about you, but my day is often compromised because of time. It's what I can get done in a certain amount of time, because we all have the same amount of time, and it's what we do within that time that has the impact that really counts. And so within that, then it's useful to look at our life and say, okay, how much of my time am I doing things that are not particularly, not high on my love list? Things that are not really that important or valuable. Maybe they are to some degree, but they could be done by someone else. And so as I was sitting here contemplating this discussion before going on air, I was watching the guy who comes and looks after our pool, and he was doing this with such love and passion, and I can recall the days when I used to take this on as just one of my jobs, one of my chores I had to do, look after the pool, and I didn't have that same passion. I did the pool because I had to, and I got all the the leaves out of it and balanced the pH and did all the things that you do to get the chemicals right with salt and all that sort of stuff. But it wasn't like it wasn't my art form, and yet this guy. He does it with such flair and such intent. I'm sure he talks to the water. I'm sure that the water feels blessed after he's left. And I was thinking, well, that's a great form of leverage, because at the same time I was looking at higher order things for me, probably not for him, but higher order things for me, which I can get greater leverage on. In other words, putting together these words and putting them into a podcast and distributing them out to the world. And so one of the innate secrets, I think, is the ability for us to identify that which is important and that which is not important. And this is what the innate wisdom of our bodies and of life does. It makes distinctions and it makes sure that it looks after the things that need looking after as a priority. So this form of leverage then, and I must admit, I don't particularly like doing lawns. So, for me, that's not the Zen moment. So, we have someone who comes and does the lawns. I don't like doing cars, washing cars. And yet I like driving a car that's nice and detailed. And so we have someone who comes and does that. So it's like the things that take me time, that are low on my values list or priority list, then I make sure that someone comes and does that work. And so the point on this, I think, is that there are people in this world who do things much, much better than you do and that I do. And it is their joy, it's their passion. And they love to do what that thing is. And they do it better than you. And so it's about the question of who are those people? Who does love this, who can do this thing better, who can excel in getting the job done in this capacity. And when you think about it, it's a really good formula for not only household activities, but for a business. A smart business person goes out and hires people and takes on people who do the thing better. And they hire people who are smarter than them and have much more knowledge. I mean, I have people in our team who just run rings about me in all sorts of areas, from their technical abilities to their interpersonal relationship abilities and communication abilities and so forth. And that's what we look for. And so within the innate model, that's a really easy thing to spot. You see people's neurological preferences standing out like a sore thumb, and within that then is their capabilities and their loves and their likes and their non-loves and their non-likes. And so when we're looking at a business or a relationship, it's like, okay, what are the gaps here? What are we missing? And then how can we find the who, or who is the who, in which we're going to plug into that system? And that who should be different. That if you look at your relationship with your most loved people, they won't all be exactly the same as you. They'll have differences, and yet for some reason you seem to get along with them. I mean, Jackie and I are worlds apart in terms of our hierarchies of values and behavioural expressions, but we get on so well together because of that difference. It's a great complementary opposites, that allows us to work together on things, and often in very, very different ways. And so there's a tolerance that's required with this. But if you look at the bigger picture of it, and it certainly worked for us over 45 years of our marriage, that there's a great power in that. So be aware of the leverage that we can get by being smart on this thing and not going for mini-me's and not making everyone conform to our particular view of the world. It's about allowing us to be vulnerable to bringing in people around us who are far smarter, far more intelligent, far more skilled. And with that, you build the tribe that is really kicking it out of the park. If you have a bunch of people just like you, you'll get just like you, which will be fine. I'm sure it's great, and it is limited because it's limited to you. So, this will be the take home from this is like, find people who are better than you, be it employees, be it a partner, be it a contractor, be it a coach. Coaches are really important to have that have trod the path before you and maybe see things from a different perspective, because they'll be able to call you accountable to things that you're not even seeing within yourself in your everyday life. So, look, a little take-home exercise on this one would be to assess what your love tos are. Just make a list of the things that you'd love to do. And there's going to be, you might want to put it on a little scale. So, 0 through 10, with 10 may be the most passionate, the things you'd love to do most, 0 being the least. And notice what's sitting where on that scale. Now, as I mentioned before, like, doing the pool and the car and the lawns and so forth was low on the scale for me. Creating, generating new ideas, writing, inspiring, speaking to people, speaking to groups, working with people to allow them to step to a higher level of their potential. They're all things that I love to do. And so what I make sure I do is to acknowledge the things that are low on my love to scale and manage for them. So that's by creating leverage. They still get done. They get done better than if I could have done them by someone who's really, really passionate about it. And that frees me up to be passionate about the things that I love to do. So, so why don't you just take at least some of those lower level love tos and allocate them to another person. Allocate them to a company, allocate them even to a friend. Like if you don't have any money to pay someone to do something, you're going to find friends who love to do the things that you hate to do. And with that, then you can do something that they hate to do for them, and they can do something that you hate to do for you. That way, there's an exchange. It doesn't have to be in financial terms, but obviously, if you're looking at this from a commercial point of view, then make sure that your business or your company, organization, your team is filled with people who do have all sorts of love tos, which are very different to everyone else's love tos. Therefore, they're spread out, and the whole team prospers. The whole business will prosper because of it. So that's the message brought to you by Archimedes. It's about leverage. It's about the ability to have others do for you what you could be doing for yourself, but that frees you up to do things which are far more productive and much more higher order for you. And that allows the whole being or the whole entity, the whole team, the whole relationship or the business to prosper. So have a good look at that, put it into action, and watch what leverage you can attain. Let us show you how to fire your brain in ways that serve you so that you can be confident, connected, and bring joy and passion into what you do every day. Get a free copy of my book, The Innate Model. Go to theinnatemodel.com/free book.